Hi everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Brittany. Today I'm sharing with you a what's for dinner, what we had in the past week. These are 4 simple, easy meals that I made, and they're all completely new to me. So the first one we did stuffed pasta shells. We topped it with pepperoni and cheese, homemade French dip sandwiches, sheet pan pork chops, and shrimp and steak tacos. Never made any of these before, just the way I did them, so completely new. This is the pasta shells I saw on another YouTube channel years ago, and I just thought I would give it a try. So right here, I just have half a pound of ground beef, and I just have some black pepper, Tony's sea salt, garlic powder, and Italian seasonings on top of there, and also some parsley. And I'm just going to mix that up together and brown it in a pan like I was making regular homemade pasta sauce. I'm also going to chop up some onions to put in the mixture as well. And I'm just going to use the Prego sauce that you guys see for my base sauce. I just want it to be super simple. And as far as the shells, you're supposed to use the big open extra large regular shells, but these are the only ones I could find at the store. And they have an opening, but as you'll see later on, I just cut a little slit in it and made it a full-on opening. This recipe turned out so good, you guys, for it to be a first time with a mixture of spaghetti as well as pepperonis and cheese. It turned out so very good. So I'm just browning up my meat over there and also putting in the noodles. And now I'm going to add in the pasta sauce. So I put in a little bit of pasta sauce there at the bottom just so that way it wouldn't burn. And I'm just going to cut the little film there. And I'm going to fill each eggshell up with the meat mixture until I have all of them filled up. I knew that my pan was super big, and I don't have a medium one, I just have a small and large one. So I just sort of moved them around until it fit all together. I wanted them to be close together. So now I'm just putting in just a little tiny bit of extra pasta sauce just so it won't dry out. And then I'm going to top it with mozzarella cheese and the pepperoni, cup and crisp pepperonis on top. I recommend making this again, but I would recommend not using the cup pepperonis because they didn't stick really to the mozzarella. I would use the regular ones so they would hold and stick in place. And this just went in the oven at around 400 for about 10 to 15 minutes just to get the cheese all melted because everything else was already cooked. And this was my husband's plate I'm fixing. I served his with 4 of the pasta shells as well as some toast that I just buttered up, some wheat bread, and toasted it, and that was what we had that night. Here I made some homemade French dips, and I used this Johnny's French dip stuff. It's supposed to be 2 cups water to 1 cup of the Johnny's mixture. I did end up using more water because it was still very overpowering as far as taste, and it's very salty, so don't add any extra seasonings. I did not add any on this night. So I'm just using some deli roast beef, and I'm also going to saute up some onions to go on top of it, and I'm just going to put the water and the Johnny's liquid into a pot, and I'm going to let that come to a rolling boil. And once I do that, I'm then going to add in my roast beef. Like I said, I don't think I show it on this, but I did end up putting more water because it was still too overpowering. And I didn't have any regular bread, so I ended up using some French bread. It was kind of okay. Once you dipped it, it made it softer. I kind of over baked it a little bit, but it was fine overall. Definitely would make this again. Just use regular bread instead of French bread. So to my onions, I just used some black pepper, garlic powder, and I think that was it. That's all I put in there just to give the onions some flavor. And once those got browned, I just took them off the pan, and then I added in my roast beef. The roast beef, I don't think I'll ever go back to any other meat again except for its deli slice. So here I'm just putting some cheese on there, some of the onions, and then topping it with the roast beef and serving it with some of the hot gravy. And this, you guys, was so, so good. I would definitely give this one probably an 8 out of a 10. I definitely would try it again other than the bread. So this night, I just had some pork chops out, didn't know what to do, so I tried my own little mixture. I've never tried this before. I'm not really a cheese type person. So on this night, I had my asparagus and everything, and I just wanted to I needed to use up the asparagus, needed to use up the pork chops. They've been in my fridge for 2 days. So I just used some parsley, black pepper, Tony's, garlic powder, and I think that was in some Ibotta complete. I rolled that around in some olive oil. And then I'm going to put the pork chops on there to soak up that extra olive oil there. And then I didn't have any breadcrumbs, so I took some of the, what is it, I've literally lost my train of thought. Some of the French bread, toasted it up really good, and then put it in my little Ninja blender cup, and that's how I got my breadcrumbs. I also put in some of fresh parsley in the little jar, a few seasonings, the same thing I seasoned the asparagus with, and I just tossed it them all. Let them cook for about 20 minutes in the oven at 400, and this was really good. The pork chops turned out really good. My husband really loved them because he don't really get this quite often because I'm not a huge cheese fan like he is. So he definitely wants this again, so I can see this being an easy weeknight meal multiple times. Especially during work, I can just throw this in there for 20 minutes, and get ready for the next day and everything. So I did take some of the extra and toss it on top just to keep it extra crispy. This night we had tacos, and I used some steak meat that was already cut up, but I cut it up even thinner. And I made some homemade pico. I used lemon, some of the lemon juice, some olive oil. I used about not even half of a cucumber just to give it some extra taste, to balance out the jalapenos, because I used 2 jalapenos and a little bit of tomatoes. And I used the 3 blend and onion pepper blend, as well as the steak and the shrimp. And then I'm going to put in some of the taco seasoning. You guys will see in a minute once the shrimp is done cooking on one side. And I just let this simmer for about 5 minutes. And these were the best tacos I think that you could possibly get at home, without being super authentic. It was quick, easy. It was around 6 o'clock when I made these, and we hadn't eaten nothing all day. So we were really hungry, and this was perfect to throw together. I would recommend this one as well. Actually, all the recipes I would recommend. All these turned out super good, and I have never tried none of these this particular way before, so these will definitely be on the menu again. I love trying new recipes, and these were something that we all liked and will want it again. We just wanted a different way. Definitely won't use that many jalapenos next time, because I did put 1 jalapeno into this mixture and 2 jalapenos into the homemade pico. And let me tell you, our lips are still burning. They burned for about an hour. We could only eat 2 of the tacos, and then we were done. It was so hot. And then I just put some lettuce at the bottom of it and topped it with the meat mixture, and then put some of the pico on top. And that was all we had, you guys. These were so good. Definitely recommend not that many jalapenos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you on the next one.